All right, everybody. Welcome to the box score. We are back. Connor, along with Aidan, Nick, and Jack. It was just week 6 of the 2020 NFL season, and there's a lot to get into. So we're going to get right into it tonight, starting with the dreadful NFC East and their division leaders, the Dallas Cowboys. Boys, what do we think about the Cowboys last night on Monday Night Football?
I mean, is there anything other to say than dreadful? I mean, they couldn't – defensively, I thought they came out great. They came out to a great start. Cardinals punted 3 times, and I was thinking maybe they're playing for Dak out there, But as soon as Zeke fumbled those 2 times, it looked like the defense kind of just gave up, back to their old ways of being a historically terrible defense. And then Andy Dalton just couldn't get it done. So, I mean, I think Cowboys fans should be worried. At the same time, they're still in first. So,
Let me just say to all the people that had them the Super Bowl champs this season, shame on you. You know nothing about sports.
Hey.
I had them in the Super Bowl.
If I recall, I think Nick Remo had them going 15-1. So
it was not one of my best takes.
I had them in the Super Bowl.
And also, you have to point to coaching for where the Cowboys are. You had some players come out earlier today saying, coaches, they don't know what they're doing. They don't teach. They don't do. So.
I mean, Jerry Jones hired an absolute fossil of a coach.
Listen, I like Mike McCarthy. I'm honestly surprised.
I think he's washed up. I think he's washed up. I mean, you got guys like Cliff Kingsbury out there running. He's a new guy. He didn't have any NFL experience. Bringing some juice to the offense. I mean, if you want to compete in this league, you got to do what Andy Reid's doing. You got to have a high Sean McVay. You got to have these young, high-powered offenses, which obviously Cowboys don't. So
I would agree with that. But one
Andy
thing
Reid
I
is
want
also a relic. So.
One thing I want to focus on here is this just shows how valuable Dak is to the Cowboys. For all the Dak haters out there, I know Jack's one of them. For all the Dak haters, this just shows everyone who's like, Dalton's going to start over Dak. Like, no, like Dak is an elite quarterback, and this shows what they are without him. I mean,
the only difference I see is that one quarterback's putting up a bunch of yards and one isn't. They're still losing games. No one's – the result.
At least they were competing with Dak, though. I mean, come on.
As well.
I mean, Remo's right. They were competing. I'm sorry. You can say what you want about Dak and losing, but let's be honest. That game would have been much closer if Dak was playing, and I feel they would have won that game. Kyler completed 9 passes, and Andy Dalton couldn't beat him. I mean, and it's not all on Andy Dalton. I mean, Zeke has been woeful.
Completed 9 passes or 100 passes, they still got 31 points. Or more than that.
Well, that just shows how bad the Cowboys defense is.
It shows how terrible the Cowboys defense is. And it's not even all on Andy Dalton. Zeke is getting paid, $90 million a year to go out there and fumble like it's nobody's business. He has been terrible this year. And everybody thought, okay, once Dak goes down, they'll rely more on Zeke. How can you rely on someone that's going to fumble 2 times a game? I mean,
I will say the line is not doing him any favors. However, you have to hold on to the ball still. But the line.
We found out who Zeke is without a good line.
That's true. I mean, he had the best offensive line maybe of all time.
You remember 2018? Saquon had a terrible line. Didn't fumble once. Had one of the best rookie seasons.
I mean, if we go back, even DeMarco Murray was the leading rusher in the league behind that offensive line. I mean, no hate against DeMarco. He was great. But, I mean, it's the offensive line.
I still think Zeke is a top-tier running back.
I agree.
He's gone for a bad stretch. I mean, this is bad.
I agree. Got to step it up, though. If they're still got a chance to make the playoffs, they got time to right the ship. The ship can be righted. It's just willing. We'll see.
They have a top receiving core. Their offense should be able to get together at some point. I mean,
let's actually just go around for a minute and who do we honestly see like winning this division? It's just atrocious, but I'm curious.
Well, everybody's going to say the Cowboys just because they're winning and they're the Cowboys and everybody else in the NFC sucks. But I think it's the Giants. Joe Judge rallies the troops. They get everybody together. They're playing the best football right now.
The best football? It took them 5 weeks, and they just beat the Washington football team.
They're competitive, bro.
Trust me. I'm a Giants hater. That's not any pick. You can make an argument for any team to win. Personally, I'm going with the Eagles. I don't love Carson Wentz, but the fight that he had against the Ravens really showed me that he's tough. And I think that maybe if they get a couple of those weapons back, maybe Alshon, Jalen Reagor, Deshaun Jackson, maybe they'll be able to step it up because I think Carson still got it. So
As of now, I'm sticking with the Cowboys. Like, I think their offense will get something going at some point. I could see the Eagles. I can't see the Giants or Washington making it. But I think the Cowboys, like, Dalton has talent around him. I think he's just got to figure it out. I mean, the
But
defense
no one
is
has
atrocious.
the
But I
Redskins.
think it'll come down. They have a late season game against the Eagles. It's going to come down to that, I think. So
who do you got, Connor?
It's tough because the Cowboys are the most skilled team. It's just I agree with Remo that Dak was so important to that team, and now that he's out, Andy Dalton. I mean, I feel like any team would want Andy Dalton as their backup quarterback. I mean, that's a pretty good backup option to have. But I just don't think that he can lead them to a division title. If I had to say right now, probably the Eagles.
Well, let me just say, let's remind everybody, Andy Dalton hasn't even won a goddamn playoff game. Can
He's
he
0-4.
perform? Basically, the rest of the season could be a playoff game. I mean, there are a lot of must-win games coming up if they want to make the playoffs. And I don't know if Andy Dalton can handle the pressure, especially at this age.
let me just add, he has 1 touchdown and 6 interceptions in the playoffs. So he's brutal.
He's brutal.
So I don't have much faith, but I think that they have a decent chance. I could definitely see the Eagles though. I mean,
Anybody could. Honestly, I could see the Giants. The Giants' defense is good. They're good. So
I don't know about that, but
I mean, they held
they're better
Jared
than they
Goff
were.
to barely anything. So I mean, I wouldn't count the Giants out yet. I think the football team.
On the Redskins, it's okay. Don't be ashamed.
No, we're not on this podcast. We're not racists. We're not racist here at the Box Score.
All right, we're just gonna move on from that.
What do we got?
All right. So jumping into our second topic tonight, there was a doubleheader on Monday Night Football last night. Chiefs and Bills in Buffalo. The Chiefs showed out again, getting the win, and they're only going to get better. Le'Veon Bell supposed to be in action this week, Week 7. Guys, what do we think about the Chiefs signing Le'Veon?
Before we talk about Le'Veon, I just want to say I'm a Josh Allen hater. Okay, I've told Conor this many times. He doesn't perform in big games. I mean, I think he's shown it the past 2 weeks against the Titans. He showed it, and he showed it again against the Chiefs. He's been great, but I don't trust him in big games. And the last season, the playoffs was another example of that. Like, he
I
had
agree, Remo. I think it was cool.
completion percentage. It's brutal.
I disagree a little bit. It was bad weather. Even Mahomes didn't play that well, and the Bills couldn't rely on their run game at all. The Chiefs relied on their run game, and Clyde and whatever his name is, their other guy that scored a touchdown for Clyde because Clyde can't.
Darrell Henderson. No.
Darrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just ran the goddamn ball. Devin Singletary, Connor, you got him in fantasy. He could barely get past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I traded him away, baby.
Josh Allen forced him to throw the ball, and it was wet and it was slippery. Troy Aikman was talking about it. So I would say I'd give him another chance in a big game before I go out and say that he definitely can't perform. But yeah, he does have to step up. But it was rainy and wet out there. So, but do we have anything else to say about Josh Allen? Because he asked about Le'Veon, or could I go into that?
We could go into that, I think.
Let's go into the Le'Veon.
I was a guy that said the Chiefs could go 16-0. Obviously, they're not. That being said, I don't think that anybody can beat them when they turn on the Jets. And adding Le'Veon to that, it's just. I mean, you can. He's basically another. You can put him out there as wide receiver. You can have him and Clyde running together. It's going to be electric.
I just don't think it was necessary. I think Clyde running out there last night. He showed running for 161 yards, and we're going to go sign a headache like Le'Veon. Just a waste of space, waste of time.
Does it not make their team better? I think it definitely makes their team better. I mean,
the headache. You just don't play him. I mean, there's nothing to lose here. They were already.
Chiefs are a freight train right now. They don't need him.
but
Why not
it makes
get
them
him?
even better? Like, why not just add more talent if you can? Like,
Kevin Durant to the Warriors, man. Come on.
It's just not the same thing.
like no, honestly, like.
But I mean, I do get what he's saying though.
Like, we don't know. Clyde's still a rookie. Like, he's been great. He's been one of the best running backs. There is some
All right.
struggles. He has some struggles, between the tackles, short yard situations. That's just because of size. Le'Veon won't have struggles with that. I think that adds another dimension to their offense.
Well, we have to think, is Le'Veon still Le'Veon? Because
Yes.
going back, I think the stat says he hasn't had a rush over 20 yards.
Also have on the Jets.
Adam Gase hated him.
So are we just not going to account for anything he did with the Jets, or are we just going to completely ignore that?
We need to see what he does with the Chiefs. Personally, I think that was a fluke in the Jets, but I might be wrong. But
I think
And the
he's
Jets just that
very
terrible?
reliant on. He's very reliant on a good line, like many running backs are, and Jets don't have that. That's why he was so good in the Steelers. I mean, their line was amazing when they had him. I don't think he'll be that again. He's still going to be in like a top tier running back. So the Chiefs are dangerous. I mean,
Well, thanks, Booger.
obviously, but they're even more dangerous. I mean, look at this. You can't tell me Bell doesn't make any difference to that team.
You know, definitely does. But we're going to get into the Jets later on. But now we move on to the AFC North, where Remo, your Steelers, off to a 5-0 start. Another dominating win on Sunday over the Browns. Ravens are 5-1. They're playing well, and the Browns are 4-2. So, I mean, every team in that division, except the Bengals, but they got a young quarterback. Every team in that division has a chance to win it and make the playoffs. So, Remo, I just want to start with you. What do you think of the AFC North?
You know, obviously I'm a Steelers fan, but let me just say I love what I'm seeing out of them. You know, people will say their schedule has been easy. You know, they haven't played the best teams. The Browns are a good team, though. Like, that's a very solid win. But you can't do anything about the schedule. They're getting the job done, and they've been impressive doing it. I mean, the defense – I haven't seen a pass rush this good in years. I mean, their defense is insane. I think they have a legitimate chance to contend for the division. I'm not going to say they're going to win it. They have a legitimate chance to contend for it this year.
Let me just talk about the Browns. Baker Mayfield is brutal. I think the man has 12 commercials.
Even
12
more
commercials.
Really, really bad.
I agree.
And they need to free OBJ. Get him the hell out of Cleveland.
He needs to be traded. I don't think they will trade him because I think they honestly they're a quarterback away from being very, very good. But yeah, I agree. Baker's not it. It's time. I mean, it's time to move on. I mean, they've given him 3 different coaches. He still can't perform. You're not going to get another coach.
The problem with that is that really messes with a young quarterback, though. You have to go through 3 different systems in that amount of time. And I think he has the best chance with Kevin Stefanski. I like what he's done. You know, I feel like the offense is simplified.
He said, Baker, we don't want you throwing the ball. I mean, that's what he said.
It's all based on the run game now. It's play action, you know, rollouts, bootlegs. Like that's where Baker is his best, but it didn't work last game. I mean, I think before that he was all right, but
I mean, personally, if I had to take a pick on who's winning, I'd say the Ravens. Even though I don't love Lamar and I don't love the Ravens, they beat up on bad teams. And I mean, so do the Steelers so far, but I don't know. I feel like the Ravens are more. We know what they are in the regular season.
I think the Steelers
13-3 team, and I don't know if the Steelers are going to be that, but we'll see.
No,
And
the Steelers.
The highway robbery of the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, as soon as he got there, completely flipped that defense around. He's great.
he really has. He brought them all together. He's the glue in that defense, and he's done outstanding things for them. What were you gonna say, Jack?
Well, talking about playing in big games, I don't think Lamar can do it. I mean, you give me I'm taking the Steelers to go further because I don't think Lamar can handle it. I mean, we saw what happened against the Chiefs.
He's young.
For 97 yards.
He's young.
And both playoff performances.
Well, I'll give him the first one. It was just for last year is the one that really got me. But honestly, what has Big Ben done this year? I mean, he's just been
With Big Ben's experience, I'm taking him over Lamar.
It's obviously better than having.
Ben's been good. Ben has I don't know, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks right now. He's doing good.
Obviously better than having your.
dink and dunk over there in Pittsburgh. That's all I'm going to say.
That's just how their offense is structured. But obviously he has the deep ball ability. You know, Claypool has been very good. I think he loves spreading the ball around. The offense, this is what I've been saying. All the Steelers needed was Ben back. Everyone was like, a bunch of people were saying, "Oh, they're just going to go 8-8 again." No, they're not. I mean,
I need to see him against a good defense. Because the Browns, the Browns still let up 40 to the Cowboys. I mean, it's not like the Browns are elite by any means. It's just
no, they're a good team though. Like their 2 losses are to the Steelers and Ravens, so that they've been doing very well.
Yeah, I know. No, the Steelers are good. I just don't know. I think it's too early to tell. Personally, I want to see them in a big game.
This week is a big game. That's a big test
against a real good offense. I mean, obviously they shut down the Browns without Chubb, but
They got Kareem Hunt. It's the same thing.
I mean,
Yeah, but
Steelers
those are
Titans this
one
week
team
though.
coach than Kareem Hunt and whatever their backup is. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I think that's one of the best divisions in football. I think maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know
I'd say it's second just because the Bengals are there, but
I don't know if the Browns are there though. Personally, I don't know. I don't like the Browns.
I don't think the Browns will ever be there.
I think the Browns are gonna make the playoffs. To be honest, I really think they could this year.
I don't know.
They've impressed me besides their performances against their division rivals. So they don't have a chance in the division, obviously. But
They're gonna be third in that division.
Mhm.
So
with the 17 playoffs, like even a 7 seed, the AFC is really competitive. There's gonna be at least 2 solid teams,
watch
like
out
2
for the Dolphins.
good teams, like left out.
Yeah.
So, switching back to the NFC, arguably was supposed to be the game of the week in Tampa Bay, but not to be for Aaron Rodgers, a very, very fluke week.
No.
160 and 2 interceptions. I think that he will bounce back. Rodgers has
He'll bounce back.
shown time again that he's still one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. But guys, what do we have to think about this performance?
Hold on, Aiden. Hold on.
He just looked dreadful.
No, let Aiden go first. I want to hear it.
Let me talk, and then you can respond to me.
All right.
Rodgers, time and time again, doesn't show up against good defenses. I mean, the 2 times they played the 49ers last year, he got smoked. And he got smoked on Sunday. He got smoked. As soon as he did the little bump, he was done. He threw the 1 pick six. Okay, he was fine. Then he threw the 2nd pick, and mentally he was checked out. And that's not what I want to see from one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he has won Super Bowl. And I know Jackson will come on here and say, get this man more weapons. But you don't say get this man more weapons when he's throwing for 4 touchdowns. You only say it when he's not playing well. So maybe he's got Davante Adams, who is a top 3 receiver in the league, along with Lazard and Valdez-Scantling.
Let me just stop you right there. Lazard and Valdez-Scantling.
Do it. Tom Brady made Edelman. Tom Brady made these guys big names.
Robert Tonyan, too.
You need to get him 2 first-round wide receivers. I've been saying it.
Need that. Who are you? Rodgers, he's going to bounce back. Conor said he's going to bounce back because I don't know who they play this week. Who do they play?
It doesn't matter.
I could look right now.
It doesn't matter because they're not going to be a good defense. And I know Rodgers is going to go throw for 5 touchdowns. And we're going to say, it was a fluke. Rodgers never throws 2 picks. Maybe he does throw. He did throw 2 picks in the NFC Championship game, if you remember that, against a great defense in the 49ers. And he faces another great defense, and I'm sorry. He sucked.
Yeah, I don't dispute that, but it's not all on Rodgers. He needs help out there. What do you want him to do? Throw to Robert Tonyan all day? I mean,
Tom Brady's thrown to an old Gronk, an injured Mike Evans, and Godwin. All right, Davante Adams, better than Godwin, all right? Mike Evans, better than Valdez-Scantling, fine. Gronk, and washed-up Gronk and Tonyan. Because Gronk looks slow as shit out there. And then running backs. Let's go to running backs. Aaron Jones is better than Ronald Jones. Rodgers has better weapons. I'm sorry. Just because they drafted Jordan Love in the 1st round instead of Justin Jefferson. Yeah, he might have helped. But Rodgers has good weapons.
Wait, you just said that Rodgers has more weapons than Tom Brady has. Is that what you just said to me?
Not more, better. If you look at it, Davante Adams is better than Tom Brady's number 1 receiver. Mike Evans is a better number 2. Tight ends are equal. Running backs goes to Rodgers.
Okay, first of all, how are you saying Gronk is equal to Robert Tonyan? I don't understand that.
Gronk running out there, he's so low as molested.
Rodgers, Gronk isn't as bad as we think he is. He just hasn't been getting the targets.
No, I like Gronk, but he's still slow. You can tell. His yards after catch must be like 1 because he can't run.
Old man.
He is an old man.
I mean, I personally disagree. Like Rodgers, I mean, he has Davante Adams. Other than that, I don't think any of his other receivers.
Oh, no, Aiden thinks that he should throw the top 5 running wide receiver Lazard all day. Because
I never said he was a top 5 receiver. I'm saying if you're supposedly the GOAT, you should be able to throw to anybody.
He's not supposedly the GOAT.
Well, no,
So-
he actually has though his whole career. He has 2 touchdown passes in his career to first round pick, both to Mercedes Lewis. I mean, like
I mean, how many does Brady
barely
have?
first round pick. I mean, he
Randy
doesn't.
Moss? Maybe Randy Moss was his only one. I don't even know if Randy Moss was a first-round pick. But name me a huge big-time receiver other than Randy Moss that Tom Brady threw to over his years, other than Gronk and Randy Moss.
Deion Branch.
I mean, these guys are big-time to
West.
Brady.
I mean, but like the stats do show. Like Rodgers, like I
Greg
said,
Jennings?
Rodgers never has had like first round picks around him. Like he's had some talent, but arguably the people he's had, he has made
All right, let me throw this at you,
play
Aiden.
like that.
If he can make Lazard and Tanyan look like the way they look now, imagine if we got him actual talent, like a Justin Jefferson or a Henry Ruggs. Imagine what the offense would look like. Just give him a little more. They're so close.
they did need to draft a receiver. I don't know what they were
Like
doing.
I agree.
they got Jordan Love. I'm sorry, but that's just awful.
They made it to the NFC Championship game. I don't understand. You guys are acting like they're
Exactly. They made it with shit. You get them good stuff, then they catapult to the Super Bowl.
It's not shit. I don't understand. Look, I'm going to continue to say this about Rodgers because he did it last year and he's doing it and he proved again. Until he plays well against a good defense in recent history, I mean, I don't care who he has out there.
What do you mean in recent history? All you have is the NFC against the 49ers.
All I'm saying is Tom Brady didn't have any weapons last year, and everyone was saying he was washed. And he had worse weapons than Rodgers does.
I mean, we'll see, but like,
Look, Rodgers is great. He's been good over his career. He has one Super Bowl.
I do blame a lot of that on the Packers organization.
I
How
do
do
as
you
well,
have
yes.
one? How do you have 2 Super Bowls total with Favre and Rodgers? Like, that's just horrendous. I mean, come on, build around the guys. Like, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. It's not. Just because Rodgers was one of the first quarterbacks to be able to run around really fast and throw on the run doesn't make him as godly as everybody says. I've never been a Rodgers guy. I think he's an asshole. I think he's an arrogant asshole who doesn't perform.
Exactly, because he can be, because he's Aaron Rodgers.
How can he be? Did you see him on Sunday?
One
And
game.
I'm sorry, Connor. I'm going off here, but
No, it's all right. Well,
I have one more thing to say.
yeah, go ahead.
Damn, I forget what I was going to say.
All right, it's not worth
Anyways,
it.
he sucks.
Connor,
I hate Rodgers is an asshole. All right.
I was just going to make one comment before we move on. The Bucs defense, give them some credit. They've been great.
Oh, amazing.
Very good.
Great pass rush, great run support. Like, they've been solid secondary. I mean, gotta give them
the best
credit.
defense in the league.
I don't know about Steelers, but you know, they're good.
I mean, the Steelers haven't. I mean, if Rodgers is so
Steelers.
good, the Bucs made Rodgers look worse than Gardner Minshew. I mean,
Gardner Minshew's a good quarterback.
he's all right. Yeah, he's all
I
right.
don't know.
I mean, don't be dissing Gardner Minshew.
I like, he's
Oh, Rodgers is gonna hopefully have a bounce back this weekend against the Texans when they go to Houston.
oh, he'll throw for 6 touchdowns and everyone will praise him. But, you know,
But boys, we got an important topic up next. A New York football team won a game this weekend. Can we believe it? I don't know. I don't even know if I can. But we got to go to the Jets. I mean, they're just
well,
unbelievable. They are legit the worst franchise I've ever. And I'm a Knicks fan, and I got to say that the Jets are a lot worse. I'm sorry, but
I got to put him with the Knicks. I don't know about worse, but they're
Knicks are bad.
definitely
Knicks are bad.
Listen, the 0-16 Browns. The 0-16 Browns could beat this Jets team. They're that bad.
true. It's true.
It's actually laughable at this point. How do you get shut out by the Dolphins?
How's Frank Gore your starting running back at almost 40 years old?
And how
Adam Gase, for some reason, has a boner for Frank Gore. I mean, there needs to come a time where you start checking out some young dudes. I mean, they have no idea what kind of talent they have in the running back game because they just run this old man into the ground.
well, they also don't have a line. I mean,
They don't have anything. They don't have anything.
no, they really don't. Like, I don't think Darnold's good. I don't care what Evans says.
No. It's
I don't
too-
think he's good.
no, I don't know who said this. I would give credit, but I forget. If they go 0-16, which they probably will, and they draft Trevor Lawrence,
I said this. I already know what you're saying.
there's going to be a lot of teams trying to trade for Sam Darnold.
You got it. I think that the best destination for him would be the Colts. With Phillip Rivers out of the way, Darnold and John Taylor
I like that,
going
Connor.
on in the
I never thought
future,
of- I
that
like
would be a pretty good duo.
I still don't think he makes mistakes like he's still a rookie. I mean, I don't think he would be. I think the
He
Colts.
doesn't add anything.
The
Like,
Colts would be
Everybody's saying
better for
Darnold.
him.
Everybody's saying free Darnold, and that's gonna like make him like catapult into this like good QB. It's
He could. He
not
could.
that
Be.
good.
I mean,
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, but you could say that with a lot of people. I
I
mean,
say with
like,
anybody on the Jets, honestly.
no, but
I-
there's plenty of examples. Like nobody defends Haskins, and he was brutal, and he was on a horrible team. They had a worse receiving core than the Jets. I mean, besides McLaurin, but like other than that, like people probably can't even name another receiver he had. I mean,
No,
Jets'
they're
best
not
player is
that
Jameson
horrible this year.
Crowder.
They're not that horrible.
and
this
their
year.
receiving core is pretty bad. I mean,
But regarding Trevor Lawrence, if the Jets do have the number one pick, I think he definitely needs to consider, if not just do it right away, just stay another year at Clemson. He cannot go to that
He
team.
can save any other franchise. Nobody can save the
he can
Jets.
save the Jets. I'm gonna say it. Bold prediction. I don't care what anyone says. Trevor Lawrence can save the Jets. He can have them. He can make them a playoff team in a couple of years.
Give me a break.
No,
What?
he is that
What are
type
you
of quarterback.
talking about?
He is a generational talent.
God,
I agree. But
He is that good. I
He
mean,
looks like God, but I don't think he's.
the evil
gonna
that the
be
Jets
one.
grew trumps what Lawrence can do. That's just
well,
Think about the team that we're talking about here. I mean,
I agree. And to
I'm
Jack,
not saying right away. I'm saying he'll
there's going to be a
perform.
playoff team. In like,
He will throw for more touchdowns than Darnold has in 3 years in his first season. I can guarantee that. Darnold hasn't even broken 20 touchdowns. That's brutal.
yeah, with Chris Herndon running his routes and Jamison Crowder as your number one. Yeah,
I mean,
there
that's
you
what
go.
happens when you're a highly touted quarterback out of college. You go to a terrible team, and you have to weather the storm like that.
not this
okay?
bad. Not this bad.
All right,
And
so you said that
Every
the
Browns
Jets would make
quarterback
the
has had to go
playoffs.
through this. I mean,
You said that the Jets would make the playoffs with Trevor Lawrence. What do you think the
not
time
right away. Not right
would
away.
that be?
In the future,
How many years?
I don't have an exact
30.
number. Ready.
30.
No,
Thank
No.
you. 30 years.
I would honestly give them 3 years.
Oh my God.
I
so. What
mean,
happens to Adam Gase?
They'd give you like a 7 seed, not like that good, you know.
are you firing Adam Gase?
Oh, yeah.
You
What,
have to.
he should be fired like 3 weeks ago. What are
He
they
should be
doing?
Well,
Oh, we have another segment for that. We have to save that for a little bit.
to Jack's point, there's no reason why he would stay because one, he could get injured, and two, the Jets are just going to have the 1 seed the next year. I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, I did see a meme about
develop
it. It's true, though.
in the league for a year. They're just going to if they don't get Trevor,
Listen,
they're going to be horrible again.
we can only control the present. Can't control the future. So
Exactly. He could
Very
get.
inspiring. Yeah.
Look at Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley at USC. He could have come out and been the number 1 pick, and he screwed it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of sick of talking about the Jets.
Yeah, no, it's just
Let's move on.
a horrible team. I mean, there's nothing else to cover.
So shifting to the NFC West, arguably
Wait,
the
hold
best
on. Did you see that butt? The butt interception was pretty nice.
Yep, first
It
highlight
was-
of
it
the
was good.
season.
highlight.
Highlight of the season. You know, that's good.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the NFC West now. Some of the best teams in the NFC, the Seahawks, 49ers are up there as well as the Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals, who just manhandled the Cowboys last night. Guys, if you had to pick today, who would win the NFC West?
Rams.
Wow.
Rams.
Okay. The Rams didn't
Let me
look
just
so
say,
hot.
The Cardinals are pretenders. I like Cliff Kingsbury. I don't believe in Kyler. I'd compare him to Lamar. I don't think he can play in the big games.
Lamar won the MVP, by the way, last year. So, a pretty good comparison, I'd say. But
I'm not comparing him in that respect. I'm comparing him.
Playoff
all right, I didn't know exactly, but I would say the Seahawks for sure are going to win the division.
I would say I mean, the Seahawks are in the driver's seat to win the division, but I think that the 49ers may turn out to be the best team coming out of that division in the playoffs. I
They
mean,
have
Eagles' defense is nowhere to be seen. I think they rely on Russell a tad bit too much, and Russell's great. I just think there might come a time where he can't do it all. Whereas the 49ers rely on their defense and their run game, which is a recipe for success, honestly.
The Niners could be dangerous. The injuries
The injuries to the running
A
back.
little worrisome.
They can't come back from those injuries.
I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the Seahawks. They're already – well, I think they're 3 games
They're
behind.
3 games back, which is why I'm saying the Seahawks are going to win the division.
Oh,
The
okay.
Seahawks already have a 2-game lead.
Mhm.
So I think it would be hard. I mean, again, it's only week 7, but it's going to be hard to catch them, especially with the way Russ is playing. But come playoff time, it's going to be interesting. I think that team could have 3 teams in the playoffs.
They could have 4. I really think.
Oh, that would be something to behold.
Mhm.
But to Jack's point, the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are legit. I don't know about this year, but next year, I think they're a team to watch out for. I mean, I think Kyler's legit. I mean, Jack.
I'm not going to rule out anything. I'm just saying this year, they're not it.
They can make like a 7 seed,
I don't know what you see with Kyler, but I see a good quarterback.
I mean, when it comes to the Cardinals, I think that they should make Chase Edmonds the starting running back. I don't know about you guys. I just don't trust Kenyon Drake like at all.
They're not using him
But Kenyon Drake
correctly.
proved nothing when they brought him in. I don't understand why. Like,
he did great at the end of last season. I don't know about that.
yeah, he had like 3 good games, and then they just expected him to be this fucking. He's not that good.
But that's not what he is. He wasn't even a lead back at Alabama. He's someone who's, he needs another solid back in the backfield with him.
But they brought him there to be the
all
lead.
right. He doesn't run between the tackles particularly well. Like, you have to get him outside the tackles. That's what he's good at, and use him in the passing game. And I feel like they kind of strayed away from that a little bit this year. But
He's not catching any passes.
exactly, I don't know what's going on, but that's what he's good at. That's what he did in college.
Kyler takes all his rushing touchdowns.
That is true. Kyler, I have to say, is obviously a great playmaker. He hasn't even – I mean, he's – with his legs, he's probably the most impressive quarterback this year using his legs right now. I mean –
Nope. Daniel Jones, number 1.
That was
I
unbelievable.
mean –
Oh, my goodness.
His top
The camera didn't even know where he was.
people don't understand how athletic this man is. Just talk about the injuries real quick.
he's all right. I mean, we have to – I mean, Daniel Jones, slow down. I mean, he's had a bad start to the season.
Listen,
Oh,
all
you see the run that he had, Remo?
easily.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
60 yards.
Hey, Darnold did the same thing, so it's like,
Darnold's good.
He is good.
oh, we don't have to keep talking about Darnold. I mean, jeez.
I'm a Darnold supporter, and I really
Really
am.
a shit box. He sucks.
All right, so we're gonna go to another young quarterback, Remo. Again, gonna start with you. Your boy Tua is making the Week 7 start with the Dolphins. How do you expect his NFL career is gonna start once he gets his first start under his belt?
I have to say, I think Flores, I'm going to give Brian Flores some credit here. I think he's handled this very well. Despite what people are saying, Fitzpatrick has played very well. I mean, considering, he's like the most inconsistent quarterback of all time. But this year he's been good. However, he knew he was a placeholder coming into the season. And this is the perfect time to bring Tua in. He only came in for a few plays at the end of the Jets game, no big deal. But now they're going into a bye. And I think they play the Rams the next week. That's a tough game. But I like that. I think this was his plan all along. Bring Tua in at the bye. I think this is a comfortable spot for Tua to come in. And I feel like the Dolphins could legit contend for a playoff spot this year. I don't think they're going to make it. But I think with Tua, they actually have I know he's a rookie. I think they have a better chance for sure. I mean.
Well, if you remember when Eli was a rookie, they had Kurt Warner, and they played – and the Giants were over 500, I believe, and that they benched Kurt Warner, brought in Eli, and it worked for their benefit. People didn't like it, but this is a similar situation. You bring in Tua. Listen, I get Ryan's playing great, but it's a good time to develop your young quarterback. I think it's a good decision as well.
I got to disagree with you guys strictly off of the fact that you're playing well. You haven't made the playoffs in a while. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let Tua continue to learn. Don't just throw him in with the Lions. I mean, look at Mahomes. Mahomes sat a season behind Alex Smith. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to get him in right away. He can sit and learn behind Fitzpatrick. They're 3-3. They are playoff contenders, even with Fitzpatrick. I think Flores has done a great job down in Miami, building that team back up. That is something that Adam Gase cannot do. And I think Flores, and honestly, I think Joe Judge is doing that in New York, which I like. I think if you remember last year, what did they start at 0-6, 0-7? They really
like 0-7.
They started out their season horrible. He kept morale high. They turned around.
Yeah,
Ended up
beat
with
the
an
Jets and got it going.
great end of the season heading into this year. And they got a good season going this far. I mean, one of their losses to the Seahawks, probably a top 3
They
team.
played very well against the Seahawks, which was
They
very
did play very well. You say they kind of contained Russ. I think they are contenders to make the playoffs. Personally, I would have kept Tua out, but I mean, I'm not in practice. I'm not in the office in the video room. I don't know. Obviously what they're seeing from Tua is they think he can go out there and compete at a high level. So I guess if he's ready, he's ready. Personally, I would keep him on the sideline.
Definitely going to be exciting to watch on Sunday with Tua making his debut. So going into our 8th segment of the night, Jack, going to start with you on this one. Some hot seats around the NFL. Who you got?
Well, obviously, we've talked about him prior. Why is Adam Gase still employed? I mean, if Dan Quinn, because I hate Dan Quinn, I would have started with him. But since Adam Gase,
I like Dan Quinn.
Please, okay.
It was Julio. They just needed Julio back.
No,
I mean,
but why is he still? I don't understand. Like, what is their plan? Like, what do they expect to gain from him with this team?
I think we can all agree on that one. I have no clue. I have no idea. They are horrible. They are absolutely horrible.
he's got to go. It's 3 weeks late. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm sure that they'll lose like 8 more games. Maybe they'll fire him then. Either way, they're not getting any better no matter who they bring in. So, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't really think there's any other notable. No, what he?
No, I agree. I
mean, what the
Are
player?
we gonna relax? Dak got injured. I mean, come on. Like,
they weren't playing well with Dak.
I agree, but it's his
there
first.
comes a point where if they win like 5-6 games this year, I'll get. If they end up losing to the Eagles late in the season and don't make the playoffs, fine. But if they only win 5 or 6 games, Jerry is going to be put in a very weird position. People are going to be calling for his job. I mean,
They might make the playoffs 5 wins. I mean,
Coming into the season, we all had the Cowboys with a top 3 talent-wise, and with that type of talent to be playing at the level they are, you have to look at coaching first.
100%.
I agree he hasn't done a great job. I think part of it he took a year off. I'm not making that an excuse for him, but I think he's a little bit cold right now.
Refreshed and ready to coach this talented team.
I agree he should be doing better with them.
Same guys saying that he deserves a chance are the ones saying that Aaron Rodgers needed more weapons and something better from the Packers. I mean, you're calling for his job in Green Bay and now saying he's a great coach and deserves a second chance. He couldn't get it done with Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
this is completely different.
it's not.
I've always thought McCarthy was a good coach. I didn't think he deserved to be fired.
Rodgers hated him. Rodgers was saying that Rodgers was calling his own plays because he didn't like what McCarthy was sending out.
I mean, he still does that, but
He does. I mean, that's just right because he's an asshole, But I'm just saying, I don't like McCarthy. I think he's just Jerry Jones just likes a controlling guy that Jerry can say what to do. Jerry can have his friends on the coaching staff. That's just how Jerry Jones operates. So I don't know if he'll fire him. I don't think he should have been hired in the first place. Who knows?
No, I think he should have been hired in the first place. I like that move. Right now, he's not living up to his standards.
let me just say the Cowboys' future head coach. I think it's going to be Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator.
No.
I think he's a young coach. He's brilliant. He's going to be a head coach one day. I'm not saying
They fire Jason Garrett. They keep Kellen Moore. They fire Mike McCarthy. They keep Kellen Moore. Maybe Kellen Moore needs to go.
Right, he's like 30 years old still. Let's relax.
I don't like Kellen Moore either.
I mean, the offense was great with him when before Dak got injured, but he was utilizing the talent.
The offense was not great. He didn't know how to call plays while the game was close. He knew how to call plays when they were down by 40, but what was he doing to keep them in the game? We know that Dak has skill. We know Cooper has skill. We know CD has skill. We know Zeke has skill. Something was off in the beginning of games. And I think that's coaching. I do.
I
Well,
agree
there's
that there's some
been
coaching problems. I just think he has potential to be a good coach.
What are you saying, Jack?
No, there's been recent buzz that Ben McAdoo potential.
I don't even know where he is right now. I think he's a tight ends coach for like.
No, that's fake news. But where is Ben McAdoo?
Where is
I
Who
think he's
cares?
a tight ends coach on the
Who
Giants.
cares?
for Ben McAdoo?
Oh my God.
But honestly, other than that, there's really no notable
I agree.
on the hot seat just because Bill O'Brien just
Well,
got fired.
the Vikings
Can't
came
win.
out and said even though with the Vikings 1-5 start, Mike Zimmer's seat is still
That's
secure.
on Kirk. Kirk needs to go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's
He sucks.
so bad.
Me and Connor held a private text conversation before the week,
Oh.
saying that we thought Kirk was going to have a great week.
I mean, like he wasn't awful. He still finished.
First play of the game. First play of the game. Interception.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't.
I mean, yeah, especially against an awful
He's
pass.
got weapons. He's got Alvin. He's got Thielen. He's got.
Jefferson now too. Yeah.
I think Irv Smith could be a very good tight end in this
Yeah,
league.
you're right. And if I was the quarterback of the Vikings, we would have more than one win. Just saying. I'm like a slower Kyle.
I don't know about that one, Jack, but
All right, so we're gonna jump into a little baseball real quickly.
before that, we said we were going to talk about the Bears. We're
Oh, that's right. That's right.
talk about the Bears.
Yes. All right. I got one more.
The Chicago Bears. We were discussing this before the show. Everyone's saying, "Oh, they're the worst 4-0 team," and now they're the worst 4-1 team, and now they're the worst 5-1 team. I mean, you're not bad if you're 5-1. So, Aidan, I want to start with you with the Bears. What do you think?
I think the Bears are legit. I think the NFC is wide open. I wouldn't put them in my top 3 teams in the NFC. I would have Seahawks, Bucks, and Packers, personally.
I'm putting the Saints above the Bears.
The Saints haven't looked that good.
Don't get me started, Jack. Talking about the Bears. I don't want to get angry. The Bears are great. I think if Nick Foles can stay consistent, they have a shot at the Super Bowl. I mean, it's wide open. They could make the Super Bowl. They really could. They're 5-1. They beat the Bucks, who just killed the Packers. So, I mean, and again, I know that's not how that works. I don't like when people say that, but they did. I think their offensive line is brutal in the run game. I mean, they have skill. They got David Montgomery. They got Cordell Patterson. They can't run the ball. But, you know, their defense is great. And Nick Foles, if he can stay consistent, I think the Bears are legit. Their coach is great. Matt Nagy knows what he's doing. So
Before we start talking about the Super Bowl, I mean, they've been very good. I support the Bears. I'm impressed by what they've done. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. The NFC is stacked. I mean, you have 4 NFC West teams who could potentially make it. That would knock out anybody else in the NFC. But you also have the Saints and Bucks competing, okay, in the NFC South right now. So the Bears, they obviously they have a good chance to make it based on how they start. I think they might blow this. You know, it's gonna be tough.
They will blow it.
no, I'm looking at their schedule. And I think they'll get 6 or 7 more wins. So that'll put them at 11 or 12 wins.
Well, then they would make the playoffs if they did that. But
Because let's say they play Rams, and Saints back to back.
probably could lose both. But they could
win both. They could win both. They could.
That's how it's been. Like I was
Well,
like,
I suppose they could, but they're not. It's
What
not
have the teams done this year, man?
they haven't looked as good as they should. That's for
Teams
sure.
are not that good. I said it last year, and they're worse than they were last year, man.
Drew Brees has his contract with NBC already. Just
Yeah,
call it quits.
he needs to retire. You love the
Go to
Saints.
the-
Jack, can you tell me why you think the Saints are Super Bowl contenders or whatever you think they are?
I never sold you that they were Super Bowl contenders this year, but all I know is that they are much more of contenders than the Bears are.
I agree, Jack, but
I mean, we
wait
got-
and see. I mean, Michael Thomas is out there fighting with teammates. He's never going to get on the field.
He can barely throw the ball downfield.
oh yeah, no, I have him fantasy. Big mistake.
Brutal.
Brutal. He's terrible. I might have to start him this week. Then we'll see.
The Bears do have a
But, we have to think about who would.
They got Rams, Saints, Titans. Those could be 3 losses. Those could be 3 wins.
Brutal right there.
This is the stretch where we're going to find out how legit the Bears are.
Maybe they won't win another game. Who knows? Maybe they lose every from here on
the
out.
Bears have done this before. It was a while ago, but they started out like 7-1 way back. I don't remember what year it was. It might have been 2012, 2013. I don't know. Way back. They missed the playoffs. They've done this. They've done this before.
Yes, but now they got Nick Foles, and look, obviously he's not
They got Nick Foles. They're really going places, huh?
Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's good for something. He's got the same amount of Super Bowls as your boy Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, where's come on?
So does Trent Dilfer. It doesn't mean anything. You can't use that argument.
I'm using.
So if we're talking about Nick Foles, what do we think the future is for Trubisky?
Trubisky
He might get another shot somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think he might get another shot on another team. I think.
I agree.
got like 2 years left in the league, and then they're gonna.
There we go. Yeah. So now
We forget he made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, people do forget about
So did
that.
Aldrich Rosas.
Oh God.
He got arrested. I mean, the man is just.
Didn't the
The
Jags
Jags gave him a chance.
They signed him and cut him.
The Jags.
I mean, the Jags got a kicker that hasn't even kicked a field goal in a real game.
And then he missed 2 of them.
He made one, which was pretty cool, but God. I remember when I drafted Aldrich Rosas in the 9th round in our fantasy draft a couple years ago.
Brutal, dude.
Baseball, baby.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into a pretty special topic right now. Jack has an NBA monologue that he would like to share. Jack, the floor is yours.
Well, let me just start off by saying that the NBA is going downhill just like the MLB is. Because you look at it, when Jordan was in the finals, their ratings were about 38 million viewers. Then you look at LeBron, he gets 5.6 million, I believe, which is as much as the worst Thursday night football game. I mean, the NBA is just going down the toilet, and it's because of LeBron. It's all LeBron. That's all I want to say. I just want to get that off my chest.
Of course, they're going to have low viewership. The NBA is supposed to end in June. It is October, and they have no fans. It's not as electric, and everyone knew the Lakers were going to win. And it was like, of course, the viewership is going to be down. In 2016, the finals averaged 22 million viewers. I mean, that's good if you ask me. Like, of course, viewership is going to be down on a Sunday, like on a random day.
Yeah, but the Sunday night football game got more viewers than that.
Because it's football season, and there's no fans at the NBA games. There's no like.
There's no fans at football games. People are still watching.
It's football season.
Some places.
It just proves it. It's just superior. It's not even close.
That's a horrible take, Jack. Can we just move on to some MLB?
Yeah.
Fuck LeBron. It sucks.
All right, watch your language here.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to some MLB. The World Series starts tonight. Clayton Kershaw and Tyler Glasnow, Rays and Dodgers. Remo, I know that you've paid close attention to the Rays, obviously knocking out the Yankees in the ALDS. What do you think about their chances against the Dodgers in this series?
I just want to say, I was upset about the Yankees. I was very sad. But I did predict before the playoffs started, I was like, both the 1 seeds, the Rays and the Dodgers, were going to make the World Series, and that's what happened. And so I was fully expecting the Rays to beat the Yankees. They're a better team this year. Yankees, kind of a disappointment with that lineup.
Kind of.
But
Huge.
I knew the Rays were gonna. They have a history of beating the Yankees. It just always happens. And
If I may, Remo.
hold on, Jack. The Rays are gonna win the World Series, like I said. The Dodgers always blow it. They cannot. They're not a playoff team. I mean, this year, they finally, they got back to the World Series, but they have a great lineup. I think Rays pitching prevails. Rays are going to take home the World Series in 6.
Well, when you look at the Rays and the way they manhandle the Yankees, it's all management. And you got to look at the what they're doing in that organization, and it's really, we haven't seen it in a while. And the way their players, with the amount of homers that they're hitting, it's just they're unstoppable. And the Dodgers, yeah, I'm with you, Remo. Dodgers they're in for a world of trouble, really.
I didn't say that, but
I'm taking the Dodgers.
The Dodgers do have 3 former MVPs on their team, and Kershaw, Bellinger, And now the addition of Mookie Betts also, who's played really well in the playoffs.
Yeah, I love Mookie.
Their lineup is arguably the best. I don't think Mookie's gonna go off this World Series. Like that's for sure. You got to worry about the other guys in that lineup. And
Justin Turner's getting old. Yeah,
Justin Turner, he sucks.
Corey Seager.
He's done. I don't even get me started.
Kiki Hernandez. Come on.
Corey Seager playing shortstop had a big Game 7 against the Braves. But yeah, we'll see how it goes down. Obviously, the X factor for the Dodgers is Clayton Kershaw. Has never been a playoff pitcher, but we'll see what happens.
That's a big factor right there. If they lose when Clayton Kershaw pitches, they're done. They're done.
No hitter from Kershaw.
All right.
No hitter from Kershaw against the Rays. You heard it here first.
Actually, this episode will be airing after Game 1 because Game 1's tonight. The episode will be airing tomorrow. So when you watch this, just after his no hitter, I called it.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna jump back into some NFL.
Finally.
Some early MVP race candidates, guys. Obviously, there have been a lot of good players who are off to good starts. Who do we think is MVP race right now? Go ahead.
An easy answer. Russell Wilson. No one else. It's that easy.
I mean, Russell Wilson is obviously the front runner, but I wouldn't say nobody else.
I mean,
Josh Allen, definitely.
Mahomes is always there. I mean,
He's always there, but he's not one right now.
but don't say it's Russ and no one else. I mean,
As of right now, he is number one. That's it.
Yeah, he is number one.
yeah, there could only be number
There
one.
are also other people in the race.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not. I don't misunderstand. There's other people in the race, but if we're ranking them like top 5, Russ is one.
I agree. Yeah, that's what number one is.
I would think everyone.
Oh, yeah.
There's
What
a
a
number
hot take
2
by
and there's
you,
nobody
Jack.
else. So I mean,
No, what a hot
I don't
take.
know. I don't know.
Wilson's number one. Yeah.
So who's number 2?
Mahomes.
Come on. Tannehill?
Okay, come on. I
Tannehill-
like Tannehill.
Derrick Henry now just upped his case.
Tannehill's got to be 3. Tannehill's playing great.
I would definitely disagree with that. I would say Rodgers is 3 still. Josh Allen,
Josh Allen was the first couple of
I would
weeks.
put Josh Allen at like 4 still.
So you got Tannehill at 5
I'm good with that.
behind Rodgers and Josh Allen? Josh
I mean,
Allen?
Tannehill is not winning.
I'll take out Josh Allen because he had 2 bad games, but Rodgers is definitely still ahead of Tannehill.
Tannehill is.
Rodgers played horrible.
It's okay.
It's because he's Rodgers. You Rodgers lovers, no matter what he does, you guys don't care.
All right, we have to calm down with Tannehill, though.
The
Dude.
last 17 games, if you look at the stats, Tannehill has identical stats to Mahomes.
No, I did see that. Like, impressive. However, it's not all about stats.
It's
It's not all about. If we watch Tannehill, like, he's been very good. He's not an MVP candidate. I mean, come on. Like, he gets the job done, you know.
He's an MVP candidate, man.
I think Dak Prescott is still ahead of him in the MVP race.
I mean, Dak would have been actually.
Dak could win it because if they don't win another game this year,
It shows how valuable he is.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm just kidding.
It's valid.
Dak,
It's like LeBron in 2015. They go back to LeBron. I mean, he led every single stat: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Should have won Finals MVP, but they gave it to Iguodala. Even though Iguodala was guarding LeBron and LeBron killed him. I mean, MVPs are strange, but I think Mahomes is going to end up winning it.
The NFL usually gets it right, honestly.
I think Mahomes will end up winning it.
All right,
But
so
it
now
would
we're
be
moving-
cool. Oh, okay. I mean, I would say it would be cool to see Wilson. You know. Sorry, I got a phone call there. But I was gonna say it would be cool to see Wilson win. You know, he's never got an MVP vote, so I'm rooting for Wilson. You know, that would be a great sight to see.
Still an unbelievable stat to think of that. He's been in the league for so long, still hasn't even gotten one vote for the MVP.
it's prime.
But moving on to possibly the 2 rookie of the years, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Who do we think's been more impressive so far?
I was gonna say definitely Justin Herbert. We can just see how talented. They're both very talented. Herbert, I've seen more from him. I've seen more driving the ball downfield, actually making deep throws. I have seen more impressive passes from Herbert. It's not all about stats, but I think Herbert's stats are also better. And it's close, but I think Herbert has been more impressive for the Chargers. You could see he's showing his talent off a lot more than Burrow is right now.
The only reason I disagree with you is because I think the only reason we say that is because Burrow was picked number 1 and Herbert was picked later. So Herbert's expectations were lower and we're more excited about it. I think Joe Burrow obviously came in with more expectations. He's playing well. I mean, the Bengals are not good. It's hard to win games with the Bengals. But, I think Burrow's been more impressive strictly because he's coming into a worse team. Chargers are a better team overall. He's coming into a worse team and he's playing very, very well. With less weapons, personally.
Well, you compare Herbert, he's shown his big playability. But you have to – yes, and you're right, the Bengals are not very good. I'm going to go with Burrow as well. I don't see it.
Burrow,
it's hard. I want to say Herbert too because I love what Herbert's doing. But I got to give
– Ask Conor. I said before the season – before the draft, I was like, Herbert's gonna have the best career out of these three, and he got picked third. He's in a great situation. He's in a great situation with the Chargers in the future, and I mean they do have to learn to close out games, but that'll come with time. I think, like I was saying, Herbert has shown more of an ability to throw the ball downfield, and Burrow has weapons in the receiving core. Nothing like that special, but I don't think he's throwing it down the field with as much precision and accuracy as Herbert has been able to do.
Well, when you have guys like A.J. Green, I don't know if you saw it. The guy's making business decisions out there. He's not playing.
He had a good game last week.
T. Higgins
has been very good.
T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, that's pretty good supporting cast for Burrow over there. So.
Williams, but,
I like to compare Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins to Lazard and MVS over in Green Bay. It's not going to help Burrow out very much. We got to get him some real weapons.
What, T. Higgins isn't a real weapon?
T. Higgins has been – I mean, there's been great –
Who the hell is T. Higgins? Yeah, he's playing some good football. He's no first-round draft pick.
He's a rookie.
I mean, the rookie receivers have been insane, and Higgins has been one of them. He's been
get picked
great.
in the second round? When did Higgins get picked? Fairly early, right?
33rd pick, yeah.
Basically a first-round pick.
It's outside. I do like Higgins. But that's it.
You just said, who the hell is Higgins? And you're saying –
No Higgins.
I mean, no.
Higgins is good. But Tyler Boyd and A.J. Green, they're not helping Burrow's case.
Tyler Boyd's good.
What do we think about
I agree.
Joe Mixon opinions?
He's great.
Oh, now he's great.
No,
I love having him on my fantasy team. I made a
better offensive line. Mixon is gonna be special.
I agree. Yeah, he needs some help.
Joe Mixon's a top 10 running back. Okay, so I mean he consistently produces. Nothing that flashy. He gets it done with a terrible offensive line. He did it last year and the year before. So I'm high on Mixon.
He didn't really do it last year, but
he had over 1,000 yards. I don't know, 5 touchdowns.
I know we should get moving on to the picks because we've been talking for a while, but quickly. Dalvin Cook versus Derrick Henry, because we've spoken about this off camera. And Remo,
this could go on forever. But I don't think it's much of an argument. Derrick Henry is better.
Well, this is the way I like to look at it.
Much better than Dalvin Cook. I mean, he not only does he produce more. Just watch the game. You see Derrick Henry he's a bull. You can't stop. Dalvin Cook, very good, okay? Derrick Henry, much harder to bring down, much harder to stop in short yard situations, and I think he's the most reliable running back in the league. He's easily the best right now at this current moment.
Let me take it. I like to look at, if I want a running back at who's better at running through brick walls, I'll take Derrick Henry. But if I want a running back who I want to play a complete game and be able to out there catch and do all that, I think really running style, maybe we'll put Derrick Henry here and Dalvin here. Just a little bit more.
He's a little bit higher than that, but Cook's
great. He's produced more. Last year, Dalvin produced more than he did.
No,
And
he
Dalvin's
didn't.
got more touchdowns this year so far.
Derrick Henry had 1,600 rushing yards in 16.
Rushing wise,
That's insane.
you look at it.
Dalvin had 1,200 on less carries.
And Derrick Henry, I don't want to hear about Tannehill in the playoffs last year. He was garbage. But Derrick Henry carried them to the AFC Championship. I mean, I don't think Cook could have done that if he was on the Titans. I really don't. I mean,
I don't know if you watch enough Vikings games.
I do.
You get the ball within the 15-yard line. Dalvin's punching that shit in. I'm sorry. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year. He's got more.
He could. I mean, Derrick Henry would punch it in from his own 6-yard line. I mean,
Derrick Henry got 2 touchdowns. Like, I'm sorry. And very Mr. Hard to tackle. If you saw in that reception in overtime, he sprinted down the sideline. It's him and a safety, 1-on-1. What happens? Safety tackles him.
All right. He also had 200+ rushing yards that game.
I agree, but I'm just saying, 1-on-1.
I mean, that was a good play by the safety. I mean, I gotta give him credit. I don't even remember who it was, but I think it was Lonnie Johnson. But yeah,
Let's move
either
on.
way.
It's 1A, 1B, regardless.
Okay.
1A down to 1B.
Well, before we get to the picks, Remo, just really quick, Big Ten football starting this weekend. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm excited. Big Ten basically admitted they were wrong by trying to postpone till the spring. They see everyone else is playing, having fun. They're like, oh, yeah, let's jump in.
Well, the Florida team did all get sick, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Though. It's not a big deal for
And it is
them.
funny because the Florida coach was like, I want to pack the stands.
And
then he got sick. I mean,
I know, it's pretty ironic, but
Yeah.
whatever. But I hope they do pack the stands. That'll be a great environment. Big Ten, I think it's gonna be exciting to watch the Big Ten this year. I think nobody is contending with Ohio State. They're easily gonna make the playoffs. They're going undefeated. But it'll be fun to watch. I think Michigan's gonna have a tough year this year. They have to play Ohio State, Penn State, and Wisconsin. Those are all going to be losses, in my opinion. But, I'm excited to see them get going. And I think having the Big Ten is great because obviously Ohio State's a true contender. They could go to the national championship this year. And I think between them, Bama, and Clemson, it's going to be a great race in the playoffs. I don't know who the 4th team is going to be honest.
Maryland Terps, maybe?
Hey, Twalia Tagovailoa, baby. Put some respect on his name.
There we go. All right, so we're going to get into the picks for Week 7. Starting off Thursday night, the Giants head to Philly to take on the Eagles.
What a game. The great Thursday night games continue. Unbelievable.
Hey, this is a good one. Whenever the
It is a good one.
Good one.
Aiden, going to start with you. Who you got?
I'm taking the Giants, man. I hate this. I'm taking the Giants. I got their defense in fantasy, and I'm
questionable decision, but
Hot take. Giants to win by double digits. Daniel Jones throws for over 300 yards, and I'll give him over 2 touchdowns.
all right. Well,
There is a good chance
He did throw his first.
no touchdowns and under 300 yards, but that's my hot take.
all right. Daniel Jones has been, underwhelming to say the least. But look on the other side, Carson Wentz, terrible this
Even
year.
worse.
Dak Prescott could come in his current condition and play better than Carson Wentz right now. To be completely honest, I mean, Carson Wentz has been really bad.
Wentz left it all out on the field last week. But.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are starting to get a little bit hotter. They started to make a comeback against the Steelers. They actually almost came back against the Ravens, except for a terrible 2-point play at the end. And I think they'll beat the Giants by pretty handily.
Well, don't forget, not that they were utilizing him, but they did lose Ertz.
And Miles Sanders for the week.
Fire everybody on the medical staff for the Eagles. Every year they have injuries. Like, what is going on? I mean, but I do think that they'll beat the Giants.
When is Dallas Goedert getting off IR? Because I would like to implement him in my fantasy.
They said that he's eligible to play, but I don't know if he's going to play this week. Might be next week.
Probably not. I mean, they should get him out there. Who are they throwing to out there?
Greg Ward.
Yeah, I hope Jalen Reagor comes back soon. I'm excited to see
Boston Scott out of the backfield.
How do you say his name? Travis Fulgham?
He's
Fulgham?
been really good, actually.
I'm playing him this week in fantasy. I'm doing it.
All right. Wait,
Pick Card. Who do you have? Did you pick?
did Jack pick?
No, Jack went.
The G-Man.
Okay. Yeah, Giants. Going Giants.
Okay. I'm the only Eagles. Yeah, all right.
Okay. All right. Arguably the game of the week. Steelers at the Titans. Remo, who you got?
This is going to be one of the best games of the year. I've gone back and forth in this one. I do think that the Steelers win this game. I think that they will shut down Tannehill and they will limit Henry better than anyone has this year. And I think that they'll be able to get the win.
Jack.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Steelers, and I'm gonna say that they hold Derrick Henry to under 60 rushing yards.
That would be impressive.
I'm rolling with the Titans. I think it's going to be a good game. I might be wrong on that one. I think this one's kind of a toss-up. But personally, I think the Titans are kind of rolling. I love what Mike Vrabel's doing, so we'll see. And I want to see the Steelers play. This is a game to test the Steelers. So
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Titans also. I think that it's the toughest matchup for the Steelers up to this point. Another good game to watch. Cowboys and the Washington football team. Who we got? Jack.
Damn, I didn't think about this one. I'm going to have to give it to the Cowboys. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have to give it to the Cowboys.
I'm also going Cowboys. Honestly, I mean, Washington doesn't have a quarterback right now. I think that's a big problem. However, they could still score like 30-plus points on this Dallas defense. I do think Cowboys offense gets it together this week against Washington's secondary. So
I'm going with the Cowboys. But if the Cowboys don't win, it's time to trade for Jameis Winston. That's all I'm going to say. They don't win this one.
Just so they could have another guy throw for 500 yards and not get the win.
no, except he throws for like 5 interceptions.
And the Cowboys are already getting enough turnovers. I don't think they need a guy who is Mr. Interception to come in.
Exciting.
And play.
Excited.
Now, I'm going to go with the football team
You're taking
at home.
Wow.
I think that Ron Rivera is
Revoke Ron, baby.
a better coach than McCarthy. I really think that McCarthy's in over his head now.
I agree.
So I got to go with Rivera and the football team, despite who the quarterback is. Could be Alex Smith for all we know. I don't know.
I think the problem with Mike McCarthy is if you look at his face, the mask is just right on his face. He's suffocating. He's not getting blood to his brain. He's dying out there.
It's true.
That's just the way I see it.
I mean, that's not even a good excuse. Andy Reid can't even see out of his face mask. It's all fogged up all the time. So, like,
You got to
he can
defend.
see it.
He's good.
Oh, I mean, that is true. It has been working better recently.
Bills at the Jets. Aidan.
I think Bills unanimous. I mean,
The Jets could make it close.
I think we have nothing to say about this. Bills by 1 million.
It's going to
Agree.
if Adam Gase doesn't get fired after this game,
They said they're not going to fire him. They're not probably won't fire him until the end of the season.
And then they got to deal with Le'Veon in Week 8. So see how that goes. The Panthers and the Saints in New Orleans. Remo.
that's a pretty solid game. That's going to be a close one. The Panthers have been surprisingly doing well. Like, I didn't think they'd be good at all.
Robbie Anderson.
Hey, this is Teddy Bridgewater's return to play New Orleans. I expect him to do pretty well. I do think the Saints will get the win, though, in a close one, though.
I do like the Panthers. I didn't expect this from them either, but taking my Saints.
I'm taking the Panthers. I mean, they played the Bears well, and Teddy has something to prove there. And I see it being a close game, and I think the Panthers are going to win. I don't think the Saints are special.
Hopefully Michael Thomas plays. If he plays, Saints win. Hopefully he doesn't punch someone else at practice this week, but we'll see. Packers at the Texans. Jack.
I would love to see Deshaun get the win out there, my man Deshaun. But as Aidan said before, Rodgers will bounce back and throw for 4 touchdowns. So
I think Rodgers throwing for 5 touchdowns.
I think he's throwing for 6. Who knows? Who cares?
You know, not even close. Packers.
I agree.
Packers. Let's see. Browns at the Bengals. Aidan.
This is going to be shocking. I think Baker, I think Odell, I think after that horrific loss to the Steelers, I think they're checked out. And I see Joe Burrow, they get better every week, and they're getting closer and closer. I think him and T. Higgins have been getting a connection. Him and Tyler Boyd are feeling good, and I'm taking the Bengals.
I love it. I'm taking the Bengals as well.
That's a tough one. The Bengals played well against them last time, and they have gotten better since. I think the Bengals win this one. Upset.
Me too. I'm going with Joe Burrow.
All 4 of us taking the underdog. I like it.
There we go.
Might look like retards, but
We may have to edit this part out if they lose.
The Lions at the Falcons. Remo.
Oh, well, 2 teams very good at blowing leads. I think the Lions win this one. A close game, 2 bad teams, but I think the Lions will get the win. Falcons are brutal.
Falcons. I got the Falcons in this one.
This is tough for me because as religious watchers of box score would know, I love the Falcons. I really do. I don't know why. I really do. That being said, I also have a special place in my heart for the Lions for some reason. I really like Matt Stafford. So this is tough for me. I want the Lions to win because if they win this game, then who knows what could happen with the playoffs. So I'm going the Lions.
I'm going to pick the Lions too, starting Matt Stafford again in fantasy this week. Hopefully he has a big day against the –
Julio's going to have a big day too.
He will. Getting into the 4 o'clock game, Seahawks and Cardinals. I think this is going to be a very good game. Jack, who do you think?
Seahawks.
All right, nice explanation.
Russell,
I
could
think
be all around Seahawks.
this is going to be a high-scoring game. 2 teams that lack defense. The Cowboys made the Cardinals' defense look good last game. Seahawks' defense is non-existent. I think Kyler will actually have another very good game, but I do think Seattle will win in the end. I don't think Cardinals' defense is going to be able to stop Russell.
I'm going with the Seahawks too. I have to agree with everything you said there, Remo. I think both defenses are a little suspect. Cardinals obviously looked good against Dalton, but Russ is going to tear them apart. But at the end of the day, hard to bet against Russ right now.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks as well. Wilson and obviously DK Metcalf's having a great season as well.
Sure. Thanks, Jack.
The Jags at the Chargers. Aidan.
I mean, Justin Herbert has been playing good against great competition. This is going to be his first game against subpar competition, and he's going to roll. Chargers are going to roll.
I thought your argument was going to be he can't play against subpar competition. But
that's what I thought too.
But yeah, I like what Herbert's been doing a lot lately. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well.
Yeah, I think Chargers finally keep a lead in this one since they're playing the Jags. And, I think Herbert has another big day.
Agree with that, Chargers. The 49ers go to New England against the Patriots. Remo.
This is another good game. I mean, Patriots are in trouble, big trouble if they lose this game. And honestly, the Niners really can't afford to keep falling behind either. So I really like this game. I think that this is a tough one. Damn, I didn't even think about this. I'm gonna have to go with the Niners here. The Patriots, they're still trying to figure things out. Cam looked terrible last game, and now he's playing the 49ers defense, which obviously injuries and all that. But I think the defensive line shuts him down, makes him one-dimensional. And
Cam just annoys me so much. He goes out there. He was so excited to be back. He's dancing on the sidelines, and he has a brutal performance, to say the least. But I think Bill Belichick's going to rally the troops. And we have to remember the Patriots team that played the Seahawks in week 2. I'm going to go with the Patriots here.
I think the 49ers I think this is where they're going to start catching their stride. They played really well against the Rams last week, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
I agree.
Both teams love
Yeah,
to run the ball. I think you're going to look up at that clock, and it's going to be the 2-minute warning after an hour of real time. It's just going to be running, and the run clock's going to run. But I'm going to go with the 49ers at the end of the day.
I'm going to go with the 49ers as well. You don't know what Raheem Mostert's status is.
I don't think he's playing.
Aren't they moving to the IR?
They're thinking about it. I don't think they have officially, but
Most likely. So that means Jerick McKinnon's getting the start in the
oh
backfield.
boy, Todd. Oh boy.
Georgia Kittle's been good. Deebo Samuel's finally back in the fold. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Niners.
Very good.
The last of the 4 o'clock games, the Chiefs at Denver. Jack.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I really don't see any world where the Chiefs blow this one.
Yeah, great take by you, Jack. Yeah, no, the Chiefs by a lot. Denver played well last game, but no, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs. Yeah, bet your house on it.
No, yeah. Nobody's stopping the Chiefs offense. Sunday Night Football, the Bucks and the Vegas Raiders, who I've been pretty impressed with. Aidan.
The Bucks are flying high right now. Their defense is going to shut down Derek Carr, except for Waller. Waller's going to get a lot of catches, a lot of receiving yards, a lot of touchdowns.
Is this game home?
It's in Vegas.
Vegas. Okay.
Raiders are good. Raiders are good this year. I think the Bucks. I mean, they just beat the Packers. They're feeling good. They're going to go into Vegas and they're going to, let's just say Sunday night they're going to be partying out in the casinos after that one. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I think Tom Brady's going to go in there, and instead of not knowing what down it is, he's not going to know what quarter it is. He's going to get shellacked out there. Give me the black hole, baby. I've been liking what Derek Carr's doing. Henry Ruggs, maybe he'll have 200 receptions. Receiving yards, not 200 receptions.
It's not black and gold. Is that what you said? I think you said it was black and gold.
Black hole.
Oh, I think you said it. Never mind. Okay.
No, the black hole. Henry Ruggs will not have 200 receptions. I'll have 200 receiving yards against that stout Bucks defense. Give me the Raiders.
All right. This is gonna be a great game. I'm excited for this one. I have to admit I was wrong about the Raiders. They were playing very good football right now, but the Buccaneers defense honestly better than their offense, and I think this is gonna be a tough task for the Raiders offense. Bucks are gonna win this one. Start catching their stride. I agree with Aidan.
Gonna be close, but I gotta go with Brady and the Bucks. Finally, the Monday night game. The Bears head to LA, take on the Rams. Guys, who we got?
Taking the Bears. The Bears. I think Nick Foles is going to roll. Expect mediocre game from David Montgomery, but he's going to get a couple touchdowns. I feel this is going to be a surprisingly high-scoring game. I know both defenses are good. I think this is going to be a shocking shootout, and I think the two game manager quarterbacks in Nick Foles and Jared Goff are actually going to both play very well. But I'm taking the Bears.
All right. Well,
don't disrespect Jared. I wouldn't call Jared Goff a game manager.
Not instead of game manager.
I mean, this year I think Jared Goff is kind of returning to his 2018 self. He had a great year that year, and I actually
Todd Gurley.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think it's gonna be low scoring. Both defenses are good, but I think this is where the Bears start to struggle a little bit. It's gonna be close, but I have the Rams in this one. They definitely need to win this to stay in the NFC West race.
All 4 Rams wins are against the NFC East. So let's slow our roll on the Rams. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, but this is where they're gonna prove it this game. I really think so.
Yeah, I got the Rams. This is the downfall of the Bears, starting this week. And Nick Foles, I don't see him having a good game. And I see Jared Goff throwing for 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams as well. Allen Robinson gonna have a big game for the Bears, but I just think that the offense for the Rams is more lethal than the Bears. Boys, I think that was a pretty good show.
It was good for a show, and expect more coming on the Instagram, guys.
Stay tuned.
We're here. We're here.
Yeah, we gave you some bonus time. I know this podcast it went pretty long this time, but we had to make up for some lost time. We missed you guys.
Lost time. We've been itching to get back to you guys, so expect it to be a little shorter. Sorry for the long one, but
Well, it's a shame we can't be in the studio together. We got to be, fortunately, on Zoom due to COVID restrictions. But it is good to see all your faces.
Great, and the studio's going to be there. The studio's there, ready for when it opens up. So
that's what we've been doing. That we've been building the studio this whole time. That's why it took so long. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
We're here for the rest of the season, into the NBA season, and we're here to stay. So thanks for watching, guys.